Hi, I'm Jennifer Janish, owner of Adored Salon and Adored Signature Hand-Tied Hair Extensions. I'm obsessed with curly hair. I cut it, style it, and extend it, and this podcast is all about my curly girl obsessions that stretch far beyond just curly hair.
Hey guys, it's me, Jennifer from the Curly Girls Obsessions, which you are listening to today, or maybe you're watching on YouTube. Also, Jennifer, the owner of Adored Salon, Adored Signature Hand Tied Hair Extensions, and Jennifer behind the chair. All me. And then on the side, first and foremost, Jennifer, the wife, and Jennifer, the mom of 4 kids. So, this episode, I'm going to talk about being in the moment. I recently took a family vacation with my entire family, and every single one of my kids was able to bring a friend. That meant there was 10 of us on this trip. And you go on vacation, you plan it. This was one of the first vacations that I actually planned for months in advance. Usually, our vacations are 4 to 6 weeks out, and that's that. I don't know why that is. My guess would be that my life is pretty chaotic, and probably I feel like the majority of the time I live in fight or flight. Don't judge me. I don't need anybody to give me a psycho rundown of why this is. Like, I know I work really hard. I know I'm a workaholic. And when you have 4 kids, 2 dogs, 2 cats, a husband, a house, that is always up for grabs, right? So hence the like last minute vacation. Sound like a great idea? Let's go now. So this trip was different. We planned it for months in advance, and um it had like that extra element of build up to it. Like, I was getting super excited to be with all of my kids and their friends. I loved every single one of their friends that was coming with us. So I was like, this will be awesome. And when I start to tell this story, everybody needs to know that I'm super grateful that I was given the opportunity to take this trip with my family. This might come off as sounding boo-hoo and woe is me, but you know what? I really don't give a shit, because I'm going to explain it to you with the fine detail of enjoying the moment, living in the moment, right? Like, how sometimes you actually have to plan for it, right? Like, and if you're a person who runs a business or you run a household, you're going to understand what I'm about to share with you. So, we take this trip and we are driving to Florida. So, we are taking 2 cars. My husband is convinced, like, beforehand, that we're not going to fit in 2 cars. We're going to need to take 3 cars. And personally, I'm like, hell no, I'm not going to worry about the extra cars behind me. It's enough to have 1 car load with my kids behind me. I cannot like sit there and start worrying about 2 cars. And then, not to mention the opportunity for something to go wrong with one of 3 cars driving there. As it was, my son's car, the air conditioning went out when we got to Florida. Thank God it was going to it was like after we had already gotten there, because it was super hot. But we start the drive. My son is 23, and he decides that he does not have to take a nap before we leave, because he does this thing with his job called Storm. And on Storm, you he drives to other states that have natural disasters. He's a diesel tech. So he works for a utility company that does overhead power lines, but he keeps their fleet on track while they're away. So, like, obviously they have all these trucks that they're driving there. And if you hey, sorry, that's my dogs. We're sitting outside because it's so nice. And so he keeps their cars in track, whatever. So he had this one storm that he did where he was at an EDM concert the night before, and he drove for like, I forget how long, and very little sleep. And like, someone normal would be like, yeah, it really sucked. No, he bragged about it, right? That he actually did it. So here we are leaving for Florida at 8 p.m. And Brad Jr. has been up since the morning. Brad Sr. has taken multiple naps, whatever. We get in the car, we start driving. All is good until around 4 a.m. when Brad Jr. is so exhausted he can't drive anymore. So his girlfriend is messaging me like, this kid's head is bobbing. I'm nervous. And I'm like, okay, I'm gonna drive. At this point, I have only slept off and on for probably an hour here, an hour there, 30 minutes here, 30 minutes there, because as the mom, I'm worried about everybody, right? So I get in his car and I start to drive. I instantly feel like I'm going to throw up because I'm so sleep deprived and I'm nervous. Probably drove for 35 minutes. Me and his girlfriend both probably had this massive look of terror. My husband's speeding down the road at 95. I'm doing like 65, trailing way far behind him. And finally, I'm like, that's it. We're done. We have to stop. I have to go to the bathroom. I have to rest. I feel like I'm going to die. And we get there, I go to the bathroom, and my husband's like, okay, let's go. I'm like, actually, no, I think we're going to sleep for 2 hours here in this parking lot. Let Brad Jr. get some rest, and I'm not driving. So he was irritated because he likes to drive straight through and whatever. We stop and we sleep. Thank God. So then we wake up, do all the things. We get to the house at 5 p.m. the next day. So it took us 21 hours with 10 people stopping for, multiple bathroom breaks and breakfast somewhere. So we get there, and of course, everybody changes their clothes, puts on their bathing suits, and they go to the pool or to the beach. And I'm like, it's 6 o'clock and we have no food here except for the snacks that I brought in the car. So we're going to have to go to the store. And husband and I go to the store, and I'm like, okay, what are we going to make that we could get at this little convenience store? Because literally the nearest grocery store was 35 minutes away. And we have a pescatarian, so no meat. Like, then there's 3 guys on this trip. They want meat. Like, I mean, I'm going to say hot dogs is the meat, but that's, I guess, up for debate. So we ended up with pasta and hot dogs and chips, right? So that was the dinner, but someone still had to make the pasta and the hot dogs, right? That was me, and everybody was down by the beach. The next day, it's like, okay, we got to go to the grocery store, and I hate to cook. Okay, this is I openly admit it. It's not something that I'm like, yay. I actually have this amazing person in my life who loves to cook, owns a catering company, and she cooks for families during the week. So win-win. She cooks for my family during the week, and she makes 4 meals for either 2 or 4 people. She's Italian, so there's a ton of food. The food is always amazing. Like, it just gets delivered in this foil container and says heat up for, sorry about the term, 25 minutes. And boom, you've got a whole meal. There's always a protein, a vegetable, and a carb, and she brings a salad. Great, fabulous, right? So I've had her probably since 2019, and we're in 2025. My ability to meal plan and meal prep is horrible. Like, if I go to the grocery store, I'm going for breakfast and lunch, and I'm doing like the small things, right? Like the snacks, the this. Denise takes care of all the meals and it's great. And then we go out to dinner once or twice. And I'm really like, I love that because I don't like to cook. So you can imagine how stressful it is to someone who doesn't like to cook on this trip with 10 people who need breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 7 days, right? So that is, I'm ready to kill my dog right now, you little brat. Hold on. And so I'm just going to keep talking. Meal prepping for 10 people for 7 days is a lot of work. So I even messaged the girls and the whole group, like, if anybody can think of easy meals, because that's the other key. Since I don't like to cook, I really don't want to spend all my time in the kitchen on this vacation. I want to be at the beach or the pool like the rest of the people. Fair is fair. And my husband, he's a griller, right? Like his signature meal is like beef and chicken kebabs. They are awesome. But also they do take a long time. But that was one of the meals anyways that was being prepared. So I was nervous about this. We came up with like 5 meals because we're going to go out to dinner 2 of the nights. Perfect. And then I wrote out this list, which was like a mile long. And we went on this vacation. We left the Friday before Memorial Day. I think it was Friday, May 23rd. And we're going to the grocery store on Sunday, May 25th. Memorial Day was May 26th. And everybody in this town is like a tourist in this Piggly Wiggly grocery store. So you can imagine what the hell this was like, right? The store is packed because it's a day before a holiday. Also, a lot of the food is not there because it's been sold out, namely buns for hamburgers and hot dogs, because we did have the option to have hot dogs more because of lunch and whatever. But and sloppy joes was also on the mix. So hello, you do need hamburger buns for that. We're sold out. So we're going through this grocery store with a list that's like a mile long. My husband's losing his shit because we've been in there for 2 hours. We didn't leave the house till 1 o'clock. We didn't get to the grocery store until like 1:35, and now we're in there for 2 hours, like wasting the whole day. And I had said to him, like, we need to go early so that we're not there all day, right? He's like, oh, I'm in no rush. I'm in no rush, right? And being the mom who ends up going to the grocery store, I was like, oh shit, this is gonna be rough. So he's asking me like kind of how much longer, how much longer? I'm like, okay, let's just divide and conquer. You're gonna go get this, right? Well, how much do I get of each one? Okay. So he comes back with the stuff that I told him to get and a bag of cheddar cheese. And I'm like, oh, like we need like 3 bags of that cheddar cheese because we do have a pescatarian. So the night that we eat tacos, she is going to eat a quesadilla and that's going to take up some of that cheese. And of course, just because you don't like cheese doesn't mean that the other 9 people on this trip don't like cheese. And I can't have dairy. So we also need a bag of the vegan cheese. And, you can imagine where this is going. By the time we get out of the grocery store, it's now like 3:45, and we got a 35-minute drive back to the house. Then we got to carry in all this stuff. And then guess what? Once it's all put away, it's actually dinner time. I'm cooking the tacos for dinner. And if they're like anybody who's ever been on a trip like this and is the ringleader knows exactly what I'm talking about. Or if you're a mom and you're with the family and you're the person who would normally do this type of stuff, you know what I'm talking about. Like everybody's been down by the beach all day. They're having a great time. And here you are back from the grocery store, like the mule. And now you're cooking the food for dinner. So, and trust me, this is going to get to the point of enjoying the moment, but actually manifesting, enjoying the moment, right? So then I start making the chicken tacos and the beef tacos because, God forbid, only some like beef, only some like chicken. And by the time dinner is done and everything is cleaned up, it's like sunset and we're on the Gulf of America. So I'm like, okay, this side is where the sun sets. Normally we're where the sun rises on the Atlantic side, but not this time. So my ass needs to be down by that beach at least to see the sun set because I feel like I've been a mule all day, right? Working. I get my tea made because I like tea at night. And I said to my husband, like, do you want to go down and watch the sunset? And he's like, yeah, I'm actually kind of comfortable here on this couch. And I'm like, what? What? So I talked to my daughter and I'm like, let's go down. We'll watch the sunset together, whatever. We do it. And I literally get there and it's like behind the clouds. I was like, "Gah," but it still looked pretty. Okay. Next day, I wake up and I get up earlier than everybody because I love to enjoy the quiet. I love to have my cup of coffee by myself. I know again, the workaholic, I'm on vacation, but I'm still posting on Instagram, whatever. It's fine. It's just the way it goes. So I get that all done in the morning. And I'm like, okay, you're going to take your second cup of coffee. You're going to walk on the beach so you could, because that's how you're doing the rest of this trip. You're going to walk on the beach with that morning cup of coffee. You're going to go to the beach and suntan in the afternoon and just leave the phone at home and yada, yada, yada. Right. So I go down, I do that. I actually take a beach chair too, and I plant myself on this really cool sandbar and my feet are in the water. I'm soaking it all in. I'm like, okay, this is what I came for. I'm enjoying the moment, right? But I actually had to like think about it to get myself to that point. So I'm like hot. I need to eat breakfast and cook breakfast. So I go back up to the house and I'm like doing my thing. I actually think I didn't cook breakfast this day. I think I was like at the point of making my lunch, and my daughter's friend, who's my 20-year-old daughter's friend, comes running up into the house and she's like, Mrs. Janish, Karina jammed her finger on the side of the pool. And I'm like, okay, do you need some ice and a paper towel? Like, what's the deal? And and I will still say I'm kind of feeling sorry for myself at this point because I was just kind of like, gosh, I've wasted these days doing this stuff that like I really didn't want to do. Why didn't I think of Instacart instead of going to the grocery store? Why didn't I have it all delivered like right as we were getting there on Saturday night? Because that's kind of the thing that I would normally do, right? I just wasn't organized enough. So I was kind of mad at myself. Not like I'm feeling sorry for myself. I just was like, you're an organized person. Why weren't you more organized with this? So it is what it is, right? Probably wasn't as organized as I normally would be because we were having our floors refinished while we were gone. So for the week prior, we were moving out all the furniture and all the stuff from our first floor of a house. And that is such an undertaking. Like we live in that first floor of our house, like everything is there, like my office, my husband's office, the kitchen, the family, like all the things. So clearing it out so that they could refinish these floors was so much stress that I think once I got in the car, I was like, okay, I'm going to release this, right? So back to the finger. And Karina's friend is like, no, like she jammed this finger, but her fingernail is off of her finger and there's blood like everywhere. You need to come down and deal with this. And this poor girl, I was like, JC, I can't deal with that right now. And she like looked at me and I just did not have the headspace. Sorry if you guys can hear the train. I live kind of close to it. I did not have the headspace to just be that mom at that moment. I don't know what was wrong with me. And she's like, "Whoa, wait, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "JC, I'm gonna give you a paper towel and a wet paper towel and some ice, and you're gonna be, you can take care of it." She's like, "Listen, you really need to get your shit together and you need to go take care of your daughter." And I was kind of like, it, thank God she was kind of blunt with me like that, because it snapped me back into action. And I was like, okay, go down. But JC, I can't look at it because I hate looking at blood and it just freaks me out. So we go down. I couldn't, I, she showed me her finger regardless if I wanted to see it or not. And it was so unbelievable. I never saw anything like it. She has on acrylic nails, and her nail came out from underneath her cuticle, was like sticking out forward. And I was like, gross. This is horrible. And she's losing it. And I said, I'm like, JC, please go get Mr. Janish. He's somewhere down on that beach. Please go get him and tell him to come up here because I just don't even know what to do at this point. Right. So she goes, she gets him. They come up and he is like, well, I think you should just cut off the portion that's hanging out and put a band-aid over it. Like, she's got to get back to business here. We're on vacation. And I'm like, exactly. We're on vacation. And this kid has like this gaping open wound, and we're in sand, ocean water. Like, she can't do that. Like, we have to take her to the ER. And he's like, well, do you want me to take her? And my daughter's looking at me like, absolutely not. If he thought that this nail could get cut off, he is not coming with me to the ER, mom. So me and my daughter and JC get in the car. It's like 12:30. The hospital is 30 minutes away. I'm prepared to be there like all day and all night because it's on this day, Memorial Day. And I'm like, it's going to be packed. Good news, small remote town. Hospital had less than 10 cars in the parking lot. We get in, it's like a ghost town, almost kind of creepy. You're like, are there even doctors here? Like, there's nobody around. Good news, we get into the ER right away, but it still took us 4 hours. By the time they were done cleaning, gluing back to her skin. Like, it was, ugh, I don't know how she made it through. A lot of the time I felt weak and I thought I was going to faint, and it's my poor kid who's going through this hell. Thank God JC was there, because I feel like JC kept my daughter like on the straight and narrow, like not the straight and narrow, but kind of kept her in a better frame of mind where she's not flipping out, right? Because her friend is there. And um for me, it was someone else to help distract, because I was constantly like worried about Karina feeling pain, whereas JC was kind of like the funny one, right? She was entertaining us, we kept talking. Oh my gosh. But then we leave, come home, and guess what? It's time for dinner. All I could think of was, thank God I had the coffee on the beach that morning, because I would have been furious at myself had I not. And this particular night, like, my husband was texting me at the hospital. He did decide that he was going to make these chicken kebabs on the grill, like, but still needed my help. So there was things that I helped him with and whatever. And then, the cleanup. Here we are, back to the sunset. Good news was that night everybody wanted to take a walk on the beach with the sunset, and we did have a really good time. Thank God that day had something salvageable about it. But that night, as I went to bed, I really thought to myself, okay, now you're left with 4 days: Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And you're going to have to make the most out of them, because that's really going to be the portion of the vacation that you're going to like, just soak in the relaxation, enjoy your time, walk away from your phone, release yourself from the businesses, and just do you and the family, period. And in some respects, the front end being as crazy as it was really made me think about how I wanted to spend the rest of that trip, right? Like I knew that I had 4 days, and to me, 4 days seems like a blink of an eye. It's a very short time window in the span of time, right? I don't get much time away from the chaos of my working world with the salon and the extension line and promoting the education and doing the education and all the things, the clients, the this, that, the other. And I still did have clients that were messaging me through this vacation. And that's also my own fault, right? Because I am the way that I am. They actually have my number or they DM me on Instagram and it's like I have to respond, right? I don't have to respond, but I know what builds up on my inbox. So I was like, okay, you are going to take care of business in the morning when you have that first cup of coffee. You're going to walk on the beach with the second cup of coffee, come back, get ready, have breakfast, and then you're going to go down the beach and you're going to leave your phone back at the house, period. And that's exactly what I did. And then come around 4 or 5 p.m., you could check to see if anything is pressing, if anybody has messaged you and you need to address it. And then you're going to eat dinner and you're going to enjoy the sunset and another walk on the beach. Like that's just how it's going to go. And luckily, the rest of the vacation went exactly that way. 2 nights, like I said, we did go out to dinner. So we did miss the sunset on the beach. And one of the days, I think it was Thursday, it rained all day. But or no, it rained all day on Wednesday. And I actually did work that day because of this online course that I'm in. I wasn't going to, but because it did rain, I'm like, okay, well, I can watch that hour that it's there and I can do a little work behind the scenes because it is pouring and there is nothing to do because we were in a beach town. Nobody wanted to go shopping, walk around, get soaking wet, whatever. Um, and I feel like because I made myself respect the time that was left, I thought about, okay, you want to be in the moment. You want to be with your family. You want to enjoy this. You've got a little bit of this time left. I 100% did. And I really am glad that I did because the vacation was like, again, once in a lifetime, right? Hopefully next year I'll be back somewhere nice with all of them again. I really would like that to be an annual thing where we take our kids and whoever with us on a trip because we don't get a lot of time together. When we are home together, there's a lot of things that come up. Friends are over, work, just all the things. So, really sitting back, taking it in, taking the time, and really manifesting how the moment would be was perfect because the rest of the trip, in my eyes, was perfect until the ride home. Then I had to drug myself at night. Once it got dark on the ride home, I was freaking out for everybody to stay awake, be, drive, do well, whatever. But the ride home we did do the ride home in 17 hours, which was perfect. Thank God. But yeah. So my message to you is if it's hard for you to be in the moment and enjoy the moment, sometimes you have to sit back, organize your thoughts and how you're going to manifest being in the moment to have the best time possible for you with your friends and your family, or just yourself. If it's just a time that you're away, taking time out for you in the moment, you really have to think about how you're going to do it because sometimes it just doesn't come natural. Sometimes there's a lot of roadblocks in the way, and you're going to have to figure out how to remove them and make it perfect for you. I hope you found value with this talk today. If you did, great. And you think of someone who would love to hear it, please send it to them. If you don't already, please hit the subscribe or follow button. That helps us grow. Um, as often as I can be on here. I'm sorry that there was like a 4 week gap. I did come home with kind of like vacation depression. I don't know if that happens to you or not, but I was missing the time I had in those 4 days when I came back to reality. And I think I was like hating on work life as it was too. So, yep. And if you're watching, you're seeing me today without any hair extensions in my hair because I'm going to be getting my hair done in a couple days. I'm going to get it highlighted again, get the hair back in. But if you ever wondered what I look like, go watch this on YouTube. You'll see my backyard. You'll have seen my dogs fight. You'll have seen all the things. And yep. So signing off for now. Hope to see you soon. If you don't already follow me on social media, you can find me at Jennifer_Johnson_Janish on Instagram or at Adored Salon or at Adored_signature_hand tied_hair at the extension line. And as always, thank you for listening in or watching.